Really?
All right.
Really?
All right.
Really?
All right, all right, all right.
Really?
All right, man. Living.
So I don't know any other way to start this other than just to jump in head first. And this is going to be awkward because for as much content as I've made on YouTube, I really don't like talking to myself through a microphone. I hate the sound of my own voice. I really do. It always bugs me, so trying to get through this is going to be a nightmare, but we're going to do our best. So, welcome to episode 1 or episode 0. I don't know what this is going to be titled, but welcome to Chase's Really Alright podcast. Or maybe we're going to call it Chase's Really Awesome Podcast? Chase's Radically Awesome Podcast? Or it's going to be called Chase's Redundant Awful Podcast. We'll see. For some reason, when I was thinking of names for the podcast, a couple stuck out in my mind. One was Burn After Listening, which would kind of be a play on Burn After Reading, and it's one of my favorite movies. It's just silly and over the top, and I was just like, oh, that'd be a fun name to call it, but Burn After Listening, I don't know. Didn't want to call it the BurnoutInc podcast. Thought about calling it the Chase Arcade podcast, and for some reason, when I thought of calling it crap, that just really made me laugh, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to call it that, I need to... Each one of the letters needs to have a definition for the acronym or whatever. So, yeah. So I'm sticking for now with Chase's Really Alright podcast. That way in the intro I could have Mr. McConaughey there. And I could have the Miz go, really? Alright, alright, alright. And it's probably going to sound stupid. I haven't even done the edit on that yet. But anyway, here we go. So, who am I? I am Chase. I used to call myself that guy with the gloves. I don't know if I'm going to stick to that anymore. I'm still going to wear gloves when I do my reviews, if I continue doing them, or if I do episodes of The Hall of Pain, which was my unboxing series, and my little stop-motion character wears gloves as well. So I kind of took the name That Guy with the Gloves because I was trying to think of a clever name for why, or a clever reason for why I wear gloves in my reviews and videos. Originally, it was just to help me stand out amongst other people that were doing it at the time, and I thought it looked cool. So I came up with the name That Guy with the Gloves because it was a play on Doug Walker's website, That Guy with the Glasses, which, you know, at the time was like, hey, it'd be kind of cool if I got a part of this. But pretty much after everything that's come out about Channel Awesome, I want to distance myself as far away from that as possible. I used to want to have like a Nostalgia Critic action figure and all this other stuff, and I still like some of the earlier works that he did, but the last couple of years I haven't enjoyed his reviews. And then once the whole change the channel movement came out and I got the backstory on that, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to be able to support these guys anymore, so walking away from having that name as well. But my email is still That Guy with the Gloves. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to call myself now when I do the little action figure things. I'll just say, this is Chase, and that's it. Okay, so where have I been? A lot of people have been asking me that, mainly 2 people, so I consider that a lot. I made like a video back in January with the new arena, the new Chase Arcade Arena, and I took it down not long after that. And I'm sorry, but you're probably going to hear Cooper in the background. That's my girlfriend's. That's my girlfriend's dog that I am adopting. He is now my baby. He is a 80-pound black lab boxer mix, mainly boxer. You could definitely see it in his face, but he's like just all dark black and brown fur and some clever little white spots here and there. She has another dog. Her name is Pip, and she's just a little mutt. She's a little tiny dog. She's about 15 years old, and you wouldn't think it. You think she'd be this old, frail dog, but no, man, this dog's got a lot of life in her. She's just sitting here laying by my feet, and Cooper's just looking at me because he wants pets all the time. But anyway, so I made the arena tour, which I'm really happy with, and then after that, I was going to do this big... There's Cooper again. I'm sorry, guys. So I was going to do this big collection video where I go through each one of the WWF slash, WWE slash WCW eras of wrestling figures that I have. And I did this huge long Hulkamania video, which is near finished. But I wanted to do like a stop motion intro for it, and I got so fed up and frustrated, and it was just, for some reason, it was really difficult. I couldn't make this vision that I had in my head come to life, and I just said, I'm done. I'm so done with this, and I just put everything away. I took down the arena. I put away my camera. All my figures are in totes right now, and I really just needed a break. And her moving in, I wanted to have, space for her too, because right now we're in a 1-bedroom apartment. This is where I've been for the last couple of years. I felt kind of creatively stifled here too. Like, I just, for some reason, this place doesn't have the feng shui that my other places did, and it's hard to get inspired in this apartment for some reason to do anything creatively. Um, So yeah, with that said, once we started moving in her stuff, and especially now, like, I had my little tiny full size bed, which was perfect for me. Having someone else in it was always kind of a challenge, and then having her 2 dogs, which love to sleep in the bed with us, that's an even bigger challenge. So just yesterday, we got our king size bed delivered from Purple Mattress, which, if you haven't seen those things, holy crap, that was the best night of sleep I've had in a long damn time. And no, I am not a freaking shill for Purple Mattress. I never heard of them until about a month ago when I started seeing all their ads on Hulu and stuff like that. And we went to Mattress Firm, which is where I got my previous bed, and just said, you know what? We need a new bed. We really want to get a king size. That way it could fit us and the dogs. We could all sleep comfortably. Cooper, what? He's just rolling on the ground going crazy. So, yeah, once we got all of her stuff moved in, there's just no room for me to do my thing anymore. The table that I used to do all the customs on, which, again, that was something I just needed to stop doing. I was putting way too much time into it, and it was stressing me out. So, I don't know. When I come back to doing action figure stuff, I do want to get the collection video up, and I'm going to keep it into segmented parts, but I don't know when that's going to happen. And I'm pretty certain all of Cooper's grunting is getting picked up on the microphone. God, you are the weirdest dog. This is going to be the worst podcast ever. It's okay. That's okay. Oh, boy. So, yeah. Basically, I'm just on break. I did YouTube pretty much 5 years straight. And pretty much after that, I just needed to take some time for myself, get things in order. And I've shifted focus on what types of content I've made constantly. So this shouldn't be anything new. And I said this on my Instagram post when I was announcing the podcast that this one's going to drop on July 4th. So happy birthday, America. Get your shit together. And pretty much, I guess, every other Sunday, pretty much Sundays is when I'm going to drop new episodes of this podcast. So that way, hopefully, you guys can listen to the good brothers over at the Fully Posable podcast. And then if you're like, oh, crap, what am I going to do now? You can listen to my really awful podcast. Or the really all right podcast. See, here's the thing. I have such a dumb little speech impediment. I have this weird anxiety thing where if I keep saying all right, I'm hoping people don't pick it up as alt-right. I do not want to be labeled as that. Oh, God, that's a freaking death sentence. Especially because I'm not alt-right. I'm not even anywhere near right. Politically wise, I am as, like, dead center as it gets. I think they're crazy lunatics on both sides of America's political system. It seems like the world is getting like that. Every political system is a left and right, and it's freaking madness. You're all a bunch of idiots. But I'm an idiot too because I don't know how to fix anything. I just know how to complain about them. So yeah, content-wise, it's going to shift over to just doing podcasts for now. And when we get a bigger place in a couple months, when I get my own little space to set up my figures again, that stuff will hopefully make a comeback. Because, man, when I'm at work and I'm left alone to my thoughts while I'm working, I mean, obviously I do my job, but I've got some downtime. I just think about things and thinking about stories and stuff that I wanted to tell using action figures. It's crazy, but it's like that's something that just gets me through the day. Like, for instance, the whole like when I started Burnout Inc. Pro Wrestling, or BPW. I wanted to make a tag division, and I thought how cool it would be if it was a three-man tag division. And this is before I started watching Lucha Underground. And I know that like New Japan and Ring of Honor have their own version of it, but at that point, I'd never really seen a tag division that was based on three-man teams. So I thought, oh, that'd be awesome. What has three heads? Cerberus. What do I love in Mass Effect? The Cerberus organization. Let's call it the Cerberus Tag Division, and we'll call it the Cerberus Tag Titles, because you got three guys, three heads of the Cerberus. There you go. And one of the concepts I had for it was going to be a 14 tournament, Legion of Doom and a mystery partner versus the Wyatt family, and then the Shield versus Demolition. And the winners of those two matches were going to fight each other in an elimination chamber. But I had the freaking idea to have it to where it was more of a mystery style elimination chamber where the pods would be blacked out. You couldn't see into them. Like the windows would be tinted. So what would happen is both teams would make their entrances. They'd both be standing in the ring. The lights would go out. There'd be like maybe 30 seconds of, okay, well, what's happening? Well, each person's getting directed towards their pod. And then when the lights come on, you'd have two guys standing in the middle of the ring and be like, oh, these two dudes are going to go at it for the next 5 to 10 minutes. And then it's like, okay, well, who's coming out next? Is it a member of this person's group or it's this person's group? So I've been thinking about that match in my head for about 2 to 3 years now. And thinking about it just gets me excited. It gets me through the day. I'm like, God, I really want to do this one day. CM Punk in his storyline with the N7 Championship, where's that going to go? Which I was going to rename that and give it a new belt, call it the Chase Arcade Wrestling Championship or the Chase Arcade Championship, something like that. He's going to have a brand new belt. I thought about having like two arcade cabinets like smashing into each other on the plate, and like the glass flying off of it and stuff like that, sort of mimicking what I did with the stage where the big fist is coming through it, coming through this like arcade cabinet. So yeah, thinking about the matches and storylines and the stuff that I've had in my head for the last couple of years, it's exciting and I want to do it. Just having the time with this job that I currently have has been really hard. But again, once I get this new space, I'm going to start dedicating time on my weekends to doing it. So yeah, it's like, well, why wasn't I doing this before? Well, the last 2 years since I've gotten this new job, I love this job. This is the best job I've ever had, and I think it perfectly suits me, but I'm out of town a lot. So if I'm out of town, my entire week is just gone. It's hard to make content when you're on the road. You're working 10 to 12 hours a day. You're in a hotel room. It's like, okay, set up the laptop and start editing if that's what I want to do. And some nights I don't want to do that. I'm just like, I just want to go to dinner, which thankfully my company pays for. I just want to go to dinner, come back, sit in my room, watch TV, watch YouTube, play my Switch, play my PS4 that I brought with me, and just veg out. But it's like, God, but I only got so much time on this earth. I want to make this content. I want people to look back on this and just love it. I love how much people dug Meltdown. That's the one thing I've made in my life that I'm so freaking happy about, is that CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio match. To me, that's the best stop motion match I've ever done. I've only done a couple of them, but that's my favorite. I do love the 3-man tag, but just all the technical difficulties that I had making that was a nightmare. The Undertaker versus Goldberg match, that was fun. I wish I would have had more of a definitive winner with that, but still, it was kind of fun seeing Sting and Brock Lesnar and Cesaro, who at the time I thought was going to get this mega push, show up. So I thought that was kind of neat. The other match I did, the other full-length match I did was Sami Zayn versus Edge. I'm so mad at myself for that. Edge barely got any offense in that match. It's supposed to be implied that, Sami gets some offense in the beginning, and then it cuts to commercial, and then it cuts back, and he's immediately in trouble. And you see a little bit here and there, and it's like, I really wish Edge could have gotten more, and Christian could have gotten more in there, because it really does look like it's just a showcase of Sami Zayn. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but still. I just wish there was more I could have done with that episode, but I plan on doing a lot more with episode 2. I started shooting it a little bit last year, and I just wasn't happy with what I had, and I scrapped all of it. Where was I going with this? I have no idea. So, yeah, the job. I'm out of town a lot, and when I come home, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something for the channel this weekend, and then I don't do it. There are days where I just literally sit on my couch, playing on my phone, playing video games, watching TV and YouTube. I shouldn't even call it TV anymore. I mean, obviously I'm watching all this stuff on a TV, but I'm not watching what the TV is putting out. I don't like TV. I don't like what, broadcast TV puts out and stuff like that. So, me and the girlfriend, we watch Netflix and Hulu, and I watch WWE Network and mostly just YouTube. And I'm trying to get more involved on Twitch, but, it's kind of hard to catch streams from your favorite content creators when you're either A, at work, or B, about to go to sleep. And then they're like, oh, this person's streaming now. Well, damn it. So one segment I really wanted to do on this podcast is I want to talk more about movies. Something I've always loved about my Instagram is when I share my thoughts on movies and stuff like that, I get a lot of positive feedback on it, or I at least get a good general discussion going with people in the comment section. So not only am I going to continue to do that on Instagram, because that's a platform I feel very comfortable on. Same with Twitter. I did not think I was going to like Twitter as much as I did. I hated Twitter for years. I still think there's a ton of garbage on there and a ton of just really awful things happening on Twitter. But I'm enjoying it as a platform. The people that I interact with, I think it's awesome. So my movie recommendation for this podcast is going to be the brand new Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston movie on Netflix. It's called Murder Mystery. I did not think I was going to like this. I haven't liked any of Adam Sandler's movies for probably the last 14 years. The last movie of his that I truly loved was The Longest Yard remake that he did with Chris Rock and Burt Reynolds. Had a bunch of WWE guys in it. Had Kevin Nash, Stone Cold, Goldberg, the future Great Khali. I mean, dude, it's such a good freaking movie, and it's so damn funny. It's like infinitely rewatchable too. So, Murder Mystery has a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, Internet Movie Database. 45% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is extremely good for an Adam Sandler movie, and a 38% on Metacritic. Now, to me, that would sound like any other Adam Sandler generic schlock, but watching this movie, it felt like one of the earlier Adam Sandler movies. It felt like something like The Wedding Singer or Happy Gilmore in a way. Or I'd say it's probably more akin to like Anger Management and 50 First Dates, which Anger Management I like, but there's a lot that I don't like about that movie. 50 First Dates was pretty freaking good. So this movie felt like one of those earlier Adam Sandler movies where he's got a concept for it. He's got a lot of pretty good jokes for it. There's a couple of eye-rolling segments in the movie, but this movie was just so freaking good. It was so funny. I did not expect it to be as funny as it was. His last couple movies like Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2 and The Ridiculous Six and all that other crap, like he shoots for like the lowest freaking ball version of comedy. This one, it's just, okay, we have this murder mystery plot and you've got Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, and they're basically just a married couple that are inserted into this thing. And Sandler and Aniston play very well off of each other. Like, I actually feel like they're a couple, where his other works like freaking Jack and Jill, where he's just like, oh, let's have Katie Holmes as my wife, or Click, let's have Kate Beckinsale as my wife, or I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. He was like, oh, I'm going to hook up with Jessica Biel, where it's just like, you just feel like Sandler's just trying to get with these younger chicks in these movies, and it's just so freaking weird. But him and Aniston, they feel like an actual couple. They really do play off of each other very well. And, you know, the plot is kind of like Clue light, or Pink Panther light, almost. But again, like, it's got enough good jokes. It's got enough good shit between him and Aniston and between them and the cast. Oh man. I really like the music in it too. It sounds like generic schlock murder mystery stuff. So if you're into that, that's cool. I kind of am. I gotta say this too about the movie. Sandler pulls off a mustache. He looks so much better with facial hair. Like, he did a movie called Reign Over Me, where he plays a widower of a family that died on 9/11. His wife and his children were killed on 9/11, and he sort of starts to reconnect with society thanks to his friend, played by Don Cheadle, after they had a random encounter with each other. And he had like a full beard and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, Sandler looks pretty awesome. But here he's rocking a mustache because he's playing a cop. He's a cop who's lying to his wife about being a detective because, he doesn't want to be embarrassed that he's constantly failing the exam to be a detective. And he's like the absolute worst shot. He can't hit the broadside of a barn. But he has, the generic cop mustache. And I'm like, dude, Sandler's pulling off the whole mustache thing. So the other thing about it, too, is that the movie immediately doesn't take itself too seriously, which I feel is a winning structure for this type of comedy. And it doesn't go too far into gross out humor, schlock, and stuff like that. That was the thing I liked about this movie. There really wasn't any gross out humor to be had, and there wasn't any humor that I would consider to be like childish. I'm trying to think of another movie I could compare this to. Would be like Date Night with Steve Carell and Tina Fey. I don't think those two worked for that type of movie. Whereas I feel like Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler do work for this type of movie. The other cast members in here, you got Luke Evans, who was in the Hobbit movies. He was the Bard. Is it Gemma or Gemma? Gemma, trying to pronounce her last name is like Egerton. She was in Prince of Persia. She was in Clash of the Titans. She was in Quantum of Solace. She was in that Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters movie, which I low-key love. Terrence Stamp is in it. There's a chick in there. Her name is Shirai Katsuna, or Shirui. I'm so bad with Japanese names. But her character's last name in it was Nakamura, and I was just like, yow! I made a big deal about that while we were watching it. The guy that played Black Panther's dad, he's in it as well. And so, yeah, it's kind of weird for me to recommend an Adam Sandler movie in 2019 that's not a Hotel Transylvania film. I still need to watch those. I hear they're great. But this was really freaking good. My best friend loves Adam Sandler movies, so I'm hoping he digs this as well. But, yeah, really good movie. I think the pacing's in it's really well. A lot of the jokes landed for me. And, yeah, I can't give it any other praise than that. If I had to rate it, like, 1 out of 10, 1 being absolute garbage film, waste of your time, like House of the Dead, 10 being like The Dark Knight. I'd say this is probably closer to like a 6 and a 7. You're going to get a lot of good jokes out of it. There's a lot of good humor. Pure fantasy fulfillment. There's stuff in here that's probably going to make your eyes roll, and some things could seem generic, but I feel like the cast, Adam Sandler especially, same with Jennifer Aniston, they really made everything work. And it's a fun little mystery that you're trying to solve. Okay, so other stuff I could recommend is that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is on Netflix right now. Dudes, best animated movie of probably the last couple of years. Really pushes the boundaries on the medium, I think. Yeah, that's such a generic fucking thing to say. Oh my god. No, the freaking animation in Into the Spider-Verse is absolutely incredible. The way they use like the little like kind of dot style that older comic books did back in the day is amazing. And someone coined the phrase Jack Kirby dots, which you see a lot in this movie. I love it. And I love the lower frame rate style of animation. It's just so unique. And God, this movie is it's amazing. I'm so happy it won. I'm not big into like, this movie I like is awesome. It needs to win awards. I don't give a damn about the Oscars or MTV Awards or any of that crap. But You know what? It won an Oscar for Best Animated Movie. Awesome, cool. Totally deserved it. If Wreck-It Ralph 2 would have won, I would have been like, okay, come on, guys. Come on. I enjoyed Wreck-It Ralph 2, or Ralph Breaks the Internet, but in no way was it better than Into the Spider-Verse. Let's see, what else did we watch? We watched a lot of movies last night, because like I said, we just got this freaking purple mattress king bed, so we literally drove to one of my favorite pizza places. We got a huge, large pizza. We got breadsticks, we got cheesy bread, and we just vegged out for the rest of the night. The dogs were in bed with us. They didn't get any pizza. They're on a diet. So we just watched movies. It was amazing. So yeah, we watched Murder Mystery. We watched The Benchwarmers. That's a 2006 Adam Sandler produced movie from his studio, Happy Madison, I think is the name of it. His production company. And again, it is actually lowbrow humor, but I think it's endearing enough to where that movie works. I saw it in theaters back in 2006, and I loved it. I laughed my ass off during it. It's been a long time since I've watched it, and yeah, all the jokes still worked on me. It was kind of crazy seeing all the 2006 technology and stuff, or all the stuff that was kind of, around in 2006, like net zero internet. There was a huge banner for PlayStation 2, and I was just like, I need that. I need that on my wall. And then while she was going to sleep, I decided to watch The Fifth Element. Another movie we just found on Netflix. Again, that movie is so weird, and I've seen it so many times, I'm starting to notice all these weird continuity issues. And I've known of one pretty much my entire life, because I've watched this movie since it first came out, which was, I think, like 96 or 97. So there's a part where Bruce Willis, he's in an opera house type stage on this ship, and he's trying to recover these 4 stones that represent, the elements of earth, wind, fire, air, And I almost started singing an Earth, Wind, and Fire song. And he's trying to recover these stones, and you can see that him and Ruby Rhod, played by Chris Tucker, they're both fully clothed. There's nothing wrong with their outfits. But when they transition to the next scene, Willis's shirt is all torn up and kind of burnt looking, and he's kind of bleeding in certain spots. Same with Ruby Rhod. When he comes out and he's crawling around, it's like, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe it. This is so exciting. His little outfit that he's wearing is all tethered up, and he's bleeding from the face, and he's got like a cut and stuff like that. And it's like, what happened there? Well, there's like a full deleted scene where they're fighting off the Mangalores, and I'm like, why was that cut? But I get why, because of pacing. It works perfectly for how it jump cuts, but it's just like, okay. Because it shows 3 Mangalores coming up, and they're like, okay, well, obviously they're going to have to fight them to get out of this room. And then, boom, Bruce Willis just bursts out of the opera house shooting these guys. So you just have to make the assumption, okay, these guys had an action scene, and we didn't get to see it. So that kind of sucks. So yeah, those are my movie recommendations. Obviously, the big one, Murder Mystery. Check it out. It's on Netflix. If you have Netflix, there's a bunch of other movies I'm going to recommend. Into the Spider-Verse. We already forgot about it. The Benchwarmers and The Fifth Element. So if I get anything else for the next podcast, I'll let you guys know. But for now, that's Chase's movie recommendations. So one thing I really wanted to do with this podcast, I wanted to make like random top 10 lists. Things I would like to make videos of, but either I don't have the time to do it, or I don't really think they would make good videos because they're more of concept things. I don't really have examples of things to show with them, or I can't do it because of YouTube's horrible copyright system. Like if I show 10 seconds of a movie, there goes the entire video. And I don't mean there goes the entire video monetarily wise. If a video I made got copyright claimed, but it's still up for people to watch, but whoever did the copyright is making money off of it, I don't care. Go ahead. Make your money. I made it so that people could watch it. But like this big Street Fighter movie discussion that Captain McKay and I did last year, Sony and Universal Pictures copyright claimed it to where nobody could watch it, which to me is just like stupid. It's like, dude, you're going to make money on this. Why the F do you care? So I just think that's really stupid. But I've been trying for like the last year to edit my way around this thing, and I even shared the video files with Captain McKay if he ever got time to do it, which he's a busy boy, so I understand why he couldn't. But I'm on it. I'm on it right now. It's just taking me a long time because there's a lot to go through. And it was going to be a long discussion. Like, okay, the thing edited down was about 2 hours 50. I'm like, dude, okay. I don't think anybody wants to sit here and watch a discussion about Street Fighter the movie for nearly 3 hours. And see, here was the thing that I'm like, oh, I don't even know if I should make it anymore, because we recorded this in December of 2016 the first time, and sadly the microphone audio was completely garbage. So we put it off, and then June 2018, last year, we sat down, we did it again, and it was great. And ever since the whole editing debacle happened, a bunch has happened. Like James, the Angry Video Game Nerd, he has a new series called Rental Reviews. He discussed the Street Fighter movie and basically talked about all the things me and Cap did. And a bunch of other channels have talked about Street Fighter the movie since then. And it's just like, okay, should we even do it now? Is there any reason why people would watch this? But you know, I think at least my little audience would get a kick out of it. So I'm still going to work on that. So, random top 10 list that I wanted to... random top 10 lists that I wanted to discuss for this little podcast of mine. The first one, my top 10 most wanted action figures. What the hell is this? So again, I thought this would make a bad video, and I never did it, but it'd be fun to talk about it. But basically, like, we all have a dream list of, at least in my little community of people, we all have like a little dream list of, you know, action figures that we want. We're like, oh god, wouldn't it be great if Mattel made this version of Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart or Stone Cold or whatever, or Seth Rollins or Nakamura or whatever. Wouldn't it be awesome if Storm made these video game characters now that they've got the Gears of War license, the Injustice license? They've been killing it with the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and Tekken figures. Oh my god. Like, Storm even made Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson and like 4 different versions of Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Just amazing. So I started putting together a list of like, okay, dream action figure list made by these companies, ones that could realistically happen. Like, I don't think anyone's ever going to make a scale Millennium Falcon to, you know, the Star Wars Black Series figures, so obviously that's out. Or like a like a scale Pacific Rim Jaeger of like Gypsy Danger that a 6-inch figure could fit into. But no, these are ones that could realistically happen. So here are my top 10 most wanted action figures. Number 10, Glacier and Mortis Elite 2-pack from Mattel. Who the hell are these guys? All right. So WCW, famous for their ripoff characters like Oz and Arachnaman and the Ding Dongs. Oh my god. So in like 96, 97, they started putting out vignettes for this character called Glacier. This martial artist who has an affinity for the cold and is training in like Antarctica or wherever he's from. And his name is Glacier. Obviously, this guy is a ripoff of Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. Plain as day, down to the ninja outfit and everything. And the color scheme, it's amazing. So he later evolved to have kind of like a silver and blue singlet, but still came out with the full karate like gear on, or the warrior gear, or whatever that stuff was, like a samurai gear. And so he needs villains. He needs villains to fight. So they came up with Mortis, who looks like Skeletor. Amazing. And he had another guy with him named Wrath. And that was just Brian Clark, who was Atom Bomb. And, well, Glacier's getting teamed up on these guys, so who's going to tag team with Glacier? Ernest the Cat Miller. Just a black dude who does karate. Awesome. Eventually he became a James Brown ripoff, but hey, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, I freaking love Glacier and Mortis. They were in WCW versus NWO Revenge. And again, all these guys are just Mortal Kombat ripoff characters. I love it. They're in WCW versus NWO Revenge, and I love playing as them. I made them a tag team. Freaking awesome. So yeah, I would love for Mattel to make an Elite style 2-pack out of these guys. So that way they could have the Elite articulation. They could come with all of their crazy gear. Glacier could have his armor, his helmet, the removable mask. Mortis could have that insane cape with the skull heads on it and his like jester's staff, whatever that thing was. So I think that'd be amazing. Also, Mortis was played by Chris Canyon, who sadly passed away due to suicide. So rest in peace, sir. Thank you for everything that you contributed to the wrestling world. And Glacier actually is making a comeback. He was at Double or Nothing. He was in the Battle Royal. He was in. He's been showing up in like Ring of Honor and like random Battle Royals and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I never thought in 2019 we'd be talking about Glacier. So I just think that's amazing. He's having sort of a comeback. All right, so that's number 10 is an Elite Style 2-pack. And it's a bit of a cheat because it's 2 figures, but whatever. It's my list. I can do whatever I want. Shut up. So number 9 would be Poison from Final Fight. If you guys don't know about her, question mark. See, here's the thing about Poison. So in Final Fight, there's 2 female characters you fight, Poison and Roxy. Now, they were originally supposed to be female, but Capcom USA had a big problem with them, with, Mike Hagar just basically pile driving women. So, oh, that sounded dirty. So they were like, okay, well, what if they were cross-dressers, or what if they were transvestites, or what if they were transsexual or asexual? So they threw this label up on Poison basically just so she could get beaten up in a video game, which is ridiculous. It's like, okay, sorry, in my canonical mind, Poison's a girl, but maybe she's not a girl. Maybe she's both. Maybe she's a hermaphrodite. Who knows? Who friggin' knows? Who friggin' cares? I think the character is awesome, and I think Storm Collectibles could make a killer Poison figure. The Bishoju company, they made an awesome killer Poison statue. It'd be so freaking cool to see Storm Collectibles take on this character. In fact, Storm Collectibles making any Final Fight characters, I think, would be amazing. Obviously, she'd have to come with a pair of handcuffs, her riding crop, and, a couple of different alternative faces and hands. What Storm does, and does very well. So the next figure is another figure I want Storm Collectibles to make. Seeing as how Storm is making Injustice figures, we're going to get Darkseid and Lobo and Bane. That's going to be freaking insane. As far as I know, all these characters... Well, no, Darkseid's from Injustice 2. I know Lobo was Injustice 1, and I think Bane is from the first Injustice as well. I want a Poison Ivy from Injustice 2. The onesie that she wears, I think, is incredible. The boots are awesome. Oh my god. The high collar that she has on her outfit, I think, is insane. And she's got like these 2 piranha plant looking vine monsters attached to her shoulders. I think those with some other jungle type weapons would be amazing. And Poison Ivy, she's had a couple of decent action figures from DC, but nothing that like just is amazing and like mind blowing. So I think she's due. Catwoman's has got a ton of good action figures. Harley Quinn has a ton of good action figures. But my girl Poison Ivy, show her some love. So Poison Ivy from Injustice 2, she's number 8. Number 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding.
Okay, so number 7 is a figure we have gotten a lot of recently, and that is Rorschach from Watchmen. I would love for Mezco, the guys that make the killer 6-inch scale action figures with the cloth accessories, like all their clothes are cloth, the pants, the coats, shirts, capes, everything. I think they do such an amazing job with their outfits. I would love to see them tackle Rorschach from Watchmen. He could come with his journal, he'd come with a grapple gun, he'd come with like an open can of beans. He would obviously come with the comedian's bloody smiley face pin. He'd have... I don't know how they would do the mask. Would they just do alternate heads to where they would have the different Rorschach shapes? And then obviously he would have to have one mask, or one head that was unmasked, so you could see Walter Kovacs underneath, obviously beaten up by the cops and stuff. But he could come with a removable hat. And yeah, I'm just imagining the work that they would do on Rorschach's coat and how stained and greasy it would look, because he's, like Rorschach just is constantly on the street, doesn't care how he smells, doesn't care how he looks and stuff like that. And he hides his costume in a dumpster. So, yeah. So that would be number 7. Getting on to the real number 6, I would want Judge Dredd, the Carl Urban version of Judge Dredd from Mezco. Oh my god. So the Scorched Earth Judge Dredd, I own that from Mezco. Mezco killed it with their Judge Dredd figures. I think it was their second action figure. The first one that they did was Batman from The Dark Knight. I used to own that figure. I had to sell it to pay some bills, and God, I miss it. It's such a cool figure. But I still have my Judge Dredd. I still have my Punisher. Never getting rid of those. The Judge Dredd is amazing. Like the armor that they put on him, like with the big winged eagle shoulder pad and his helmet, looks amazing. And I freaking love the Carl Urban version of Dredd from Dredd 3D or Dredd 2013, whatever you call the movie. His crap, is it called the Lawmaster or the Lawgiver or something like that? I can't remember what the gun's called, but it would be so cool if he could come with his gun with a bunch of different attachments. If there was like a deluxe version that could come with his motorcycle, God, that'd be insane. Number 5. Okay, so again, we're going with Mezco. Number 5, Eric Draven, the Crow. Oh my goodness. He has been in such desperate need for a great 6 to 7 inch scale, fully articulated figure. The Crow has left such a long-lasting legacy on movies and comic books, and just like fashion and everything. I don't think Hot Topic would exist without the Crow. Oh my god. Brandon Lee's look from that movie is just insane. Like the Hot Toys version of the Crow, absolutely amazing. Just basically make that, but in a 6-inch form. Oh my god, I'm freaking geeking out over that. The amount of like different heads he could come with, the facial expressions alone, just his facial expressions behind that makeup like rival like that of like Jack Nicholson's or Heath Ledger's as the Joker. Just, it's amazing. I'm just picturing like the coat that Mezco could make, his like tethered clothing with all like this. His wardrobe is so weird. It's like he's got like tape and stuff wrapped around his hands and on his pants and his shirt and stuff like that. His boots, God, I love those boots. So freaking cool. They're like unlaced with like the tongue sticking out. Oh god, just such a cool aesthetic. And I'm thinking of all the accessories he can come with. He can come with 2 pistols, a samurai sword. Obviously, he would come with a crow. Hopefully, if they do make it, he could have 2 crows. One with the wings out and one with, his wings in, like he's perched on his shoulder. Just amazing stuff. I think Mezco could seriously knock that one out of the park. Number 4 is another video game character I feel has not gotten justice in the 6-inch, 7-inch scale, and that is Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series. She's had a couple of action figures. She's had some good ones based off of the movies, the Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie. But like classic Tomb Raider anniversary, when you think of Lara Croft, you either think of like, the reboot where she's a little bit more Nathan Drake-ish, and well, not really Nathan Drake-ish. It's more the gameplay that's like Uncharted, but she's, got the brown pants and the tank top, and I love that aesthetic. It's really cool. It works for the reboot. But I want more of the classic adventurer Lara Croft from like Tomb Raider Anniversary. So she would have that teal greenish looking tank top, the brown shorts with the gun straps, the combat mountain boots, the glasses. Oh my god, I'm geeking out about that. The dual pistols just strapped to her hips. She could have like an adventurer's backpack. So much good stuff from that game, because she had like this weird device that basically shot out like a grapple hook. That would be cool if she could come with that. And the company I would want making her would be Storm. Storm would just totally kill it with her. Especially like look at the Cammy figure they've got coming out, and the Gears of War figures they got coming out. I think if they just took that template, put it on Lara Croft, absolutely amazing. Number 3, this is one I wanted for so long, the Jack Nicholson Joker, and I would want NECA to make it. A couple years ago, NECA, they made a 25th anniversary Batman figure based off of Michael Keaton. Looks just like him. It's amazing. The little tiny face looks just like Michael Keaton. It is so freaking amazing. I absolutely love it. He came with a couple of accessories. He had a batarang, and I think he had a batarang, the one that kind of folds in and out, and he also had his grapple gun. And oh man, I just thinking about what they could do with like an ultimate Joker would be insane. He'd come with a removable hat. I think it would be amazing if he had a removable hat. If he had 3 different faces, just a normal face, a laughing face, and then a face where his makeup was all melted off when Vicky Vale threw the pitcher of water in his face. And he has, that weird little, French bidet hat or whatever. I don't know what it's called. I know what a bidet is, but I don't know what the freaking hat's called. Like a beret. A beret. That's what it's called. That's what I was thinking of. And instead I called it the thing you wash your ass with. So yeah, it'd be amazing if he came with those, 3 different heads. He'd come with his joy buzzer, his little radio thing, the mask that he put over his face. I'm trying to think how NECA could do his collapsible revolver, but I think they would have to give him a regular size revolver with the word bang, with the little bang flag sticking out, and then they'd have to give him a separate revolver with the 2 to 3 foot long barrel at the end. Oh my god, that gun is so awesome. And he'd also would have to have a walking stick, or a cane, because he did have one of those. So yeah, that's what I would make. That's how I would have NECA make an ultimate Joker. Oh god damn, I'm freaking I want that so badly. Speaking of NECA and their ultimate line, these top 2 figures, I couldn't decide who was number 1 and number 2. I chose this one because he has had some good figures, but they're either not in scale or they're not super like the actor playing him. Like, there were a couple of Disney Store exclusive figures, and I own 2 of them. And it's just like, man, it's there, but it's just not. It's like it's before the it's like before this renaissance of amazing action figures. It was just right before that. So the character I'm talking about is the one and only Indiana Jones. He needs to have a modern 6 to 7 inch action figure. I think NECA could kill this. If he was part of NECA's ultimate line, oh my god. Oh my goodness. They made Harrison Ford from Blade Runner 2049, and I thought that looked so much like him. They did a great job with that. If they could just do a younger version of Harrison Ford from Raiders of the Lost Ark, the fedora, the coat, his satchel, the whip. They made an ultimate Uncharted figure, and he came with a whip, and I was like, oh my god, please, just transition this over to the Indiana Jones. It's amazing looking. I love it. The revolver, all the accessories he can come with. He can come with the friggin' Ark of the Covenant. Oh my god! He can come with all 3 of the Shankara stones. He can come with the Holy Grail. He'd have a machine gun, a machete. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, I would just love that so much. God, Indiana Jones, man, he does not get the love that I think he should. He's a part of the Lucasfilm, anthology of stuff, along with Star Wars. So Disney owns him now. They're not doing anything with him. He's just been completely buried because of how bad Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was. And how much people turned on that. And, man. I keep hearing rumors of a 5th movie. That's just, I don't think it's going to happen. And if it does, he's going to be too old. He's going to be too old. I think if we got a modern Indiana Jones action figure, that would get enough buzz going around him. Because, see, here's the thing about Indiana Jones and why I think he'd be perfect for NECA. Unlike Star Wars, you can't really have an ongoing Indiana Jones line of action figures because even though his side characters are good, you really just want Indiana Jones. He would be perfect for just a one-off type series like what NECA's doing with the Jason figures, where they're making each one of the Jasons. They could just make a ton of Indiana Jones figures one at a time, and I would buy absolutely every single one of them. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Jesus. I freaking love Indiana Jones, and I would just love it if NECA could make an Indiana Jones figure. Hell, Mezco could take a crack at it, and I'd go insane for it. So Figma has an Indiana Jones figure, and I used to own that thing, but it was so small. He was out of scale with everybody, and I did not like the head that he came with. It just looked, it was just off. Like, if they could have just taken that, made it 6-7 inch scale, we'd be in business, and I could have my man BEW repaint the face, and it would look exactly like Harrison Ford. But nope. So I'm just gonna wait patiently, and hopefully one day we will get this badass, amazing Indiana Jones figure. I thought about buying the Hot Toys ones, but I don't collect Hot Toys. They're too expensive. So that's not saying Hot Toys isn't good. Holy crap. They make some of the best action figures on the planet. They're just not in the scale that I prefer. Number 1, and this is one Captain McKay Random I know agrees with me wholeheartedly. Mike Hagar. Mike freaking Hagar. The mayor of Metro City. Champion of the Capcom Wrestling Alliance. Or Federation, whatever it was called, from Saturday Night Slam Masters. I don't think we've ever had a Mike Hagar action figure made by any company. There might have been statues. I know there was like the little Lego style version. I forget what those are called. But no, we do not have a 6 or 7 inch scale Mike Hagar. And it is a crime. That is an actual crime. Somebody needs to be arrested for it. Captain McKay made an awesome Mike Hagar custom. I've seen a ton of great Mike Hagar customs online. I made my own Mike Hagar custom in the Mattel WWE style. But for the love of God, we need an official release. We need a Capcom-sponsored official release from somebody. And of course, they've been mentioned on this list multiple times. The only company that I want to get their hands on Mike Hagar is Storm Collectibles. Have you seen their Zangief figure? Oh my God. That giant mound of Russian muscle. Just take that template, put it on Mike Hagar, making the same size and everything like that. Oh man, just picturing the job Storm could do on this gets me so hyped. He can come with a pipe. He can come with a breakaway crate that has like a turkey leg or something in it. He can come with like a knife and a sword and a barrel. He'd have to come with a barrel too. Oh my God. A deluxe version of Mike Hagar from Storm Collectibles. Not to mention the amount of variants they could make on him, because I know Storm loves their variants. So you make your standard Mike Hagar in the green khakis with the... Is khaki a color? Is it... I'm trying to think. Green suit pants. Green pants. Jesus. So, the green pants, the wrestling strap going over his shoulder. Oh, God, that'd be so freaking great. You just have that as your standard Mike Hagar. And then you have so many variants and exclusives. You could have a Mike Hagar from Final Fight 2, where he's in the more wrestling shorts and he has like those big boots on. Or from Final Fight 3, where he's got the long ponytail. Why does he have a long ponytail? I don't know. You can make a Mike Hagar from Saturday Night Slam Masters, or he's in his wrestling outfit. Oh my God! And he can come with a championship belt. He can come with a Capcom Wrestling Championship belt. Storm made that version of Mike Tyson where he has all of the boxing heavyweight championship belts, and those were so cool looking. Imagine if they made one based off of the Capcom Wrestling. Oh my God. I'm losing my freaking mind right now. You have no idea. He could come with like something to attach on his hands when he does, the spinning lariat. He could have like a ground effect for when he does the pile driver. You just put this circular splashing waveform energy effect around him and whoever he's pile driving. Jeez. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind over the thought of having Storm make Mike Hagar. That mustache needs to be immortalized. This podcast has been strangely mustache related. Adam Sandler and Mike Hagar, two great mustaches. You know what? Adam Sandler, give him an action figure. Make an action figure based off of him and Jennifer Aniston from freaking Murder Mystery. I'd buy it. NECA could make that. So yeah, there is our top 10 list. Running through it again. Number 1, Storm Collectibles, Mike Hagar. Number 2, NECA, Indiana Jones. Number 3, NECA, Jack Nicholson Joker. Number 4, Storm Collectibles, Laura Croft. Number 5, Mezco, The Crow. Number 6, Mezco, Judge Dredd, Carl Urban version. Number 7, Mezco, Rorschach from Watchmen. Number 8, Storm Collectibles, Poison Ivy, Injustice 2. And Cooper's over there drinking water. It's probably going to show up on this. You're going to hear it. Number 9. Are you purposely doing that as loud as you can? Yes, you are. Number 9, Storm Collectibles, Poison from Final Fight. And number 10, WWE, Mattel, Glacier and Mortis 2-pack. There you go. There is my entire top 10 most wanted action figure list. And guess what? I have enough for another top 10. You're going to get another top 10 most wanted action figure list. Isn't that exciting? Oh yeah, all 2 people that are going to listen to this podcast, they are super hyped for that. Jeez. Oh my goodness. All right, so that's going to wrap this up. That is going to wrap up this episode of Chase's Really Awful, Really Alright, Really Not Alt-Right, Really Awful, Really Awesome, Redundantly Awesome, Recklessly Random podcast. Crap for short. This is the Crap Podcast. Ask your friends, did you listen to Crap? Are you subscribed to Crap? Do you feed on crap? I'm the dumbest person on the planet, okay? For some reason, I heard the acronym CRAP in my head, and I have to push it. I gotta push CRAP. There is a fart button. See, this is how perfect, this is how everything came together. Danielle brought this into our house. This is a literal button shaped like a cloud of fart. And it's like the Mark button from Fully Posable Podcast, except I have a fart button. If I get those guys on the podcast, we're going to have a button off. Fart button versus Mark button. WrestleMania 3, eat your damn heart out. Like any other podcast, I would love to put music at the end of it. Cooper, will you stop making noise? This is unprofessional. Sit down. Please sit down. Sit down on the couch. Have a beer. Chill out. Okay, so like any other podcast, I would love to put like a song at the end of it. My boys at the 616 Entertainment Podcast, a couple other podcasts I listen to, at the end of it, they have a musical thing. I would love to do that, but obviously this podcast is going to be on YouTube until it builds up an audience, and I know people are, at least enjoying it somewhat. And once I get to, I think, 5 or 10 episodes, and I know I'm invested in this to keep going with it, I'm going to put it on iTunes and Podbean and Spotify and all the other stuff. I got to figure out how to do that. I got to talk to Jeff and Scott or Ian and figure out how they do all that. I know servers cost money, and I don't have money to put into it right now. So for now, this is just going to remain YouTube exclusive. Maybe I'll put a link to a Dropbox if I can do that as well. If there's a free service I can put this on, I'll try to do that. But for now, it's going to remain YouTube exclusive until about episode 5, just so I know that I'm serious about this. Thank you very much for listening to my crap. Jesus, that was a Thunderpants level fart. Alright guys, thank you so much. I promise someday videos will come back. It's going to take a little while longer, a couple more months, but when it does, it does. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. When they come back, they come back. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for listening to my crap, and I'll see you next time.